Yes. Volume down.
Welcome back to All Things Abacus. I am your host, Lynette Young. We're going to talk about math. We're going to talk elementary grade. I don't know. We're just going to talk about math. Hello. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Alyssa, for joining. For those of you that are in for the replays, comment replay, and I hope this is helpful for you guys. All right. How are we doing?
We're good.
Okay. Alyssa had a question. One of the questions was how to find the middle, the halfway point. And I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, I
What do
don't
you
know.
mean how to find the halfway point of what?
So the question was using a number line to figure out where the halfway point is. So if you had a number from 15 to 55, what would be the middle? Like, how do we figure out what the middle is?
Okay.
And so there's another question. It's like, if you had a number between 45 and 65, how do you know what the middle is? So then I'm like trying to think, like, hmm. If you don't like number lines, and I was like thinking, well, we could do it on the abacus, but you would have to track the numbers that are going through. I don't know. Deep thinking right here. I have to think about that some more, Alyssa. I can't tell you on the top of my head because we don't necessarily do that in abacus.
Well,
We just
well,
do
see,
basic arithmetic.
in my head, I would do a number line and I would do say,
Yeah, I would do a number line. But if you didn't do if we did not do a number line, how else can we do it? I guess the question would be. So
I
I
guess
started to
my
count
biggest
on,
thing was see what is the difference between the two.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you got, what was it, 15 and 45? So that's
15 and 55. Yeah.
55. Okay, so that's 40. So half of that's 20. So what's the
Then you add 10. Yeah. You could do that. You could do that. Oh,
I picked the
Abram's
doozer,
still in
didn't I?
class.
He's still
Say
in
that.
class, so I
Okay.
just don't want to compete, and I don't know where my headset is. But I picked a good one, huh?
Yeah. Because if we're trying to think about like how to show it on the abacus, because an abacus is really just about showing numbers and not necessarily showing the quantity,
hmm
right? And
I
so,
think we can do it though, because I went and I looked it up. I googled it on online. So hold on a second.
I
welcome
guess my
to.
question is why would you want to do that? But I think there's a way you could do it.
There is somebody. Watch Dragon is on YouTube right now. Welcome, Watch Dragon. Thank you so much. It's Aces. Um,
So let's see.
yeah.
So the example. Wait a second. The example that they gave is. Where did Snake go? Oh, where was it? Oh, okay, so I had 15 and 55, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they would say, back here. Hold on. Snakey.
It was 15
Back here.
and 55. So
Yeah.
then I was like thinking, well, what we could do is we could count how many, like how big it is. So we can count by fives or we can count by tens. So if we had 15 on the abacus and we counted by fives, this is 25, 35, 45, 55. So how many times did we do that? So we did one, two, well, one, two, three, four. So I guess what I would do would be like, here's my one. So that would be somewhere in the middle, would be 35. So it'd be kind of like counting. It would be kind of like counting.
It would be. So what they basically say, we can count in from 15 and 55 as long as we count in the same amount. So the number
Count
way,
the same amount.
so
What is-
55, like say
Yeah.
you're gonna count in
By fives or by
by
tens?
fives, you would count by fives going
Yeah.
from
So
different
20,
directions to the middle.
25. Okay, right. Okay,
Mhm.
right.
However, I thought, I mean, because see, that's something visual that you would do on the number line.
Yeah.
But it was like what Tammy said. You would take 15
Minus
and 50,
55. Yeah.
you would take 15 and 55 and you would add them together.
Nope, subtract them.
No, you take away together.
You would
So that
add
would
them
be 40. It would
you
be
add them
minus.
together, add them together,
Add them
No,
together.
add them
subtract.
together.
Add
Hold
them
on.
together.
Okay.
So 6, 7. So 70.
70, add them together, and then it's like what Tammy said, you're finding the difference. So I thought would be cool is you're adding them on the Abacus, you're showing how to add it on the Abacus, and then you're turning around and you're doing a division problem by dividing it by 2, because that's which 2 is the half mark, the middle. And I tried to do that on the Abacus, but then I got stuck with where to place my numbers. Because on the Beast Academy, they have your number line, but then they said, well, now let's do it without the number line. So they have, what's the number halfway between 70 and 130? Or
70 and 130. Okay.
yeah. And so you would add them together and you would divide by 2.
Would not add them together because that is higher than 130.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
And on the 55 and 15, your
70 is higher
your
than
midpoint's going to
55,
be about 25.
which is what I did. If you look, so this is what I
Yeah.
did, right? You count from 10, go by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So how many times did I do that? I did that 4 times. So all I got to do would be
Yep.
like 10, 20. So that's actually 35.
Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool. Count how many times you go up. But yeah, going higher than 70 is not the middle of 55.
No. You got to subtract.
Yeah, you have to find the difference between the two.
Okay.
That's okay. Let's talk it out. Let's talk about it.
Yep.
This is it.
Let's talk it.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Alyssa?
I googled it. So hold on. Let me
All
go
right.
to my answer sheet.
All right.
Let's see. There's chapter 3. No, I think I'm on chapter 2. on there.
Aces, are you still around? Let me know if you have any questions, or if you want to talk about like multiplication, division. We also do that here. I have a new student. I think I'm going to have a new student. They are in 5th grade, and I realized I
Cool.
created this math book that will really help 5th graders. And I'm like, so instead of having them start with the Abacus for Adults, have them start at the multiplication and just
Mhm.
expand from that. And I was like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I am smarter than I thought I was.
Yeah, that's
Well-
what I was thinking. That book could also be for it's basically for yeah.
Yeah. So he was not, it wasn't, he had a little bit of problems doing his math fact. And then the dad was like, well, maybe we should break out the flashcards. And I'm like, oh, hold on. Instead of doing the flashcards, just do this activity workbook and it will really help strengthen his math facts without flashcards. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's the new. So instead of doing flashcards, you do the activity and it's going to really help
Yep.
you. And I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even think that was where I was going. I wasn't even going that route when I built this book. When I built this book, it was
It's a
just like, I
beautiful
wanted to help
book.
people. Oh my God. And then because I start talking about the utilizing the 5, they get to understand how to do more. So then when he gets to this section of the book, then I can actually introduce the adult book to supplement. And I was like, this is brilliant. All right, Alyssa, did you get
Aces is just at work, so he's just listening.
yeah, aces. So Alyssa, did you able to find it?
Yeah, I have it. Okay,
Okay,
so
let's do it.
basically, the number halfway between you have let me see if they did the one that was previous on that. Okay, let's say you have um between 45 and 65.
Yes.
Okay, so what number is halfway between 45 and 65?
All right. So what I would do on the abacus, and this is an interesting thing, we can show 45, and then what we can do is we can count by tens. So we know that 10, and then how many times I did that? I did that twice. So half of 2 would be 55. So the middle
Mhm.
would be 55. That's what I would do.
Yep.
If you wanted to show it on the abacus,
Okay, do that again.
I would count how many times I go from 45 to 65. So this is 1, this is 2, and then this is 3, right? So then I know that this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So I know that the middle would be there. So let's do it again. So this is 1, right? So we start off with here. I count 55 and then 65. I did that twice, right? This is
Yep.
0, this is 1, this is 2. So if I did that twice, how many times do I do it if I did it once? So if I go back to here and I do it once, that is my middle. That's an interesting one. That was what I was thinking. So let's do 200, 210 to 260, right? Okay, 210. That's my 0. How many times does it take to get to here? So we do 1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5.
5.
So if that's 5, then half of 5 would be 2.5. Did that work? Did that work? So we start from here, 1, 2, wait, 1, 2. So it'd be 30 or 40, 35. Would that be halfway?
I would say 235.
235 is halfway.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So we can do it again. And what we're doing is finding we're finding we're finding a common way to see things, right? So even if it's
Yes.
70, 27 and 73, well, we have 27. How many times do we get to 70? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have to add that extra 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 5, still 2.5, and then add the 2. Ooh, that's a lot of math right there. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, the number line would be the easiest for young kids to understand how to find it, but mathematically speaking, it would be a lot. What do you think, Alyssa? Tammy?
Let me go to the answer thing.
My mind's a little blown on that last one.
Yeah. So I
What did you get for your answer?
I didn't try it yet. So if I did 27, right? So I know it's going to be 2. So 1, 2, and then I need the half. That's what the half is. And then you need to add another answer. So my answer would be 54. What did I do? All right. So I counted it, right? I did 27. This would be awesome for like an adult activity. So here, I
I
want to
think
count
I'd
from
cry.
27 to 73, right?
73.
So I count 1, 2, 3,
3,
4,
4,
5.
5.
But I'm at 77. I did it 5 times. So half of 5 is 2.5. But
Right.
I got it at 77.
You want me to read the whole entire thing real quick?
Yeah, do it.
All right. So what they have is we count in from 27 and 73. The number halfway between 27 and 73 is the same as the number halfway between 30 and 70.
Oh, right. Okay. So what they did is they shifted it over.
So the number halfway between 30 and 70 is 50. So the number halfway between 27 and 73 is 50. So what they did
They
is you
subtracted
go
3.
from you want to go yes. So you have positive 3 because 27 to 30 is 3.
Oh.
73 to 70 is 3. So you're minusing 3 plus 3. Now you can go by tens after that.
Mm,
And so
mm,
you get
wait, say that again. 70. So you got 30, you added 3, and then here you take away the 3. Oops, take away the 3. So that's how you get 70 and 30. And so then between that is not 50. Oh, so I guess, sorry, between that would be 50. Okay.
that's your finding the middle.
So that's the finding the middle. If you did 70 and 30, but you took away the 3 and you added the 3. So that means you got to add it back, or you got to do the opposites. Go on. So if I take away 27 and I added, okay, my middle would still be 30. My middle would still be 50.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So that's why I was adding 73 plus 27.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're dividing by 2.
Mm-hmm. But it actually should have been 73 minus 27. Figure that out. So 73 on the abacus. 73 on the abacus minus 20 minus 7. Minus 7 is minus the 10 plus the 3 plus the 2. So the answer is 45. What?
No.
Wait.
It's like 48 in a remainder.
Oh, okay. So wait, 70. Take away 2, take away 7. Take away 7 is minus the 10 plus the 3. Oh, plus the 3. Plus the 3, it'd be 46.
Okay, hold on. I'm going nuts. All right. Hold on.
So then half of this, wait. So that's the difference, 46. So the difference, so then what we do is we divide that by 2. That would be 2 and 6. So it'd be 23. So then you add 23 to 27, which would be 50.
This is kind of how they're showing you how to do it.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. Spotlight for everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, with the number line.
With the number line.
Yeah.
And so like I said, I thought I looked it up And they say you take the two numbers, you add them together, and then you divide by 2. And that should still get you 50.
You can't add it together though.
Once you divide, you can.
No. Because if you add the two numbers together, you're higher than your original, your upper end number. You have to subtract the 2.
Okay, well, let's try to add it together and divide by 2 and see what happens.
Okay, so we add it together.
Add 27 and 73 together.
So add 27.
Yeah, let's do that on the abacus.
Wait, hold on. I need a new piece of paper. So, okay, so 27, 73, right? And you add 27, add the 2, add the 7, plus the 10 minus the 3. So you get 100. And then they said divide that by 2 would be 50.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there.
No, you already found your middle number.
Oh, that's the middle number.
That's the middle. That's in between 27 and 23. Halfway there. That's 50. That's the answer.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's interesting.
So if you did that the same way with the other ones, let's say you did
okay, so yeah, the other one, hold on, let me get it. That's okay. So if we had 43 and then 89, if we added it together, okay, wait, so we add, so 89, add 4, add 3, add 3, we get 132. So 132, divide that by 2, we have 6 and then 6. So our answer is 66 is in the middle. All right.
Yeah. So what I thought the reason why I thought that would be cool is because first of all, you're doing your adding on the abacus, and then you're showing the steps once you've added it, how to divide on the abacus.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought of that.
Oh,
because you're doing it by 2.
Yeah.
And that's probably a pretty simple. It's not simple in my book, but it's simple. It's a simple, beginning steps for division.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a little bit. How did Abram do with it?
Abram hasn't done it because I haven't been able to
explain it.
I was hoping you could explain it.
Well, what? One thing.
How come Tammy's shaking her head?
Because it's
no
different. Because what are we trying to do with the concept? So there's two things.
Yeah.
There is the arithmetic portion, right?
Yep.
Or the concept of finding the middle. Those are two separate things.
Right.
So you use a number line to show them how to get to the middle.
Right. But then after that, with that 43, it says, okay, so try solving the problem below without a number line.
Yeah.
And so they had you by practicing on the number line first. In this first part of the book, it says what number is halfway between 15 and 55. We can count in from 15 and 55 as long as we count in by the same amount.
Right.
The number halfway between our points stay the same. So from 15 to 20, that's plus 5. From 55 to 50, that's negative 5.
Yep.
So the number halfway between 15 and 55 is the same as the number halfway between 20 and 30.
Yep.
Okay. Then we keep counting in by equal amounts until we reach the middle. Okay. But so now if you're going to do it without the abacus, in my mind, I'm not going to, I don't want to sit there and figure out whether I'm going like this to the middle. I would take the two. So I Googled it online and I added the two numbers together and I divided it by two. And
Yeah.
then that got me my middle. So I thought, well, why not practice that? First of all, you've understood the question, but you're going back to your arithmetic. And
Yes.
so you're going back to adding and you're
Yes.
adding on the abacus. Now once you've got the answer, now you're trying to do division on the abacus.
Uh-huh.
And so I think it's the question that's stumping, but the arithmetic still applies there. And you'll be able to find the you'll be able to find the you'll be able to find the halfway mark on there. And what I'm noticing is that each time you divide by two, you seem to get a number that doesn't have a remainder in there. And so it's a
Right.
good practice.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I thought of the idea.
That's a fantastic idea. The
So-
concept is a little bit mature.
Okay, so what level would that be for?
That would probably be for 4th or 5th grade.
Then that's
Because-
perfect. That's perfect then, right?
Yeah. If he's at that level, I don't
He's not at that level, but I thought it would just be a good practice.
Yeah, because when you're doing it the operations way, it's good to understand the concept. It's just like what we talked about last week when we talk about you can introduce abacus to algebra. It's all about the concept. So it as a second grader understanding number line, I think that'd be too advanced. But if
What do you
you're
mean?
because it's one thing to because they're not understanding why are you adding it together and then dividing. What's the point of that? Right? So understanding why are we doing it?
Why are we doing that?
Why do we have to add the two numbers together?
Oh, it's kind of sort of finding the average. It's finding the middle.
Right, finding the average, finding the middle. That's not a concept they learn until 4th grade.
I don't care about the grade part.
Well, no,
I'm
but
more
I'm talking
about
about concepts, right?
concepts.
Yeah. So this is an advanced concept because they
Right.
don't understanding what an average is, or they're not understanding how to.
But what about so when because see, they're using numbers there, right?
Yeah,
And
no, yeah, they are using numbers, but that's the difference between memorizing and then understanding what you're trying to do. Do they have that mental capacity at that level to understand, oh, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find an average. You know what I mean? So
Well, I
you
wouldn't
could,
call it an average. I like how they've mentioned that you're finding the middle. And so what I would probably do is I probably wouldn't have the numbers so far apart as they are. Like maybe 43 and 70 is a little too far. Maybe I
yeah,
would go in a little bit smaller.
yeah. So
Um,
so yeah, that's a good idea. Going to smaller numbers because smaller numbers is always helpful.
well,
So
'cause
even if we did,
the same principle will still apply.
yeah, so if we did 6 and 2, right? That would be 8. And then you divide that by 2, it'd be 4. So my middle would be 4. 2,
Mhm.
4, and then 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could I would, yeah.
Yeah.
But what you're teaching here is now you're teaching a process. Unless they understand the concept, So this is like quote unquote what we call a shortcut. What are you trying to, what is it that you're trying to teach them, to how to find the middle and the different ways of finding the middle? And Tammy's question would be, well, what's the point of that? What's the point of
With the
trying to find the middle?
abacus, yeah,
What's
I'm
the
not,
goal? Yeah. So it's great that there's a
So-
curriculum, but
So the purpose of that, okay, because before that, before they were doing distances. So
oh, okay.
they
okay.
were doing like from 37 to 40 is how many units. So they would let's see. Okay, how can we find the distance between two numbers by counting up on the number line?
Okay.
So that's kind of where when you find the distance between the two, that's where you're taking 62 and subtracting 37, because you're finding the distance between the numbers. That's where
Okay.
subtraction comes in. But then the next concept was, okay, let's find the middle or the halfway mark between two numbers. And so that's where they showed you on the number line how to do that. What conceptually am I learning in this? I think it's just exercises on how to use the number line. See how numbers are used on it, and that's the purpose on that. But
Interesting.
eventually, you won't have the number line,
Right.
and so that's all I was doing with that. But okay, as for where Abram is at, I mean,
So right. No, so there's better, it's better to know a backstory because I just got a bunch of numbers. Sorry. Go on, Tammy.
but no, I was just kind of curious. You know, we know he's in second grade in,
third.
Third
okay,
grade.
third grade.
Yeah.
I apologize. I thought he was in second, but
No, it's okay.
is he up to this?
Well, right now he's almost done with this lesson. He's doing the enrichment part of it. And one of the things that I had just realized is that he does that mainly online. But I have the book before me, and I can always have him practice that. And he's done a little bit of this. He's done the distance one already. And the next part was the halfway mark, the halfway between. And he can go and pretty much go, okay, we're going to keep on taking our fingers and moving until we get to the middle. Making sure that you the same amount as on both sides.
Right.
There was another problem where they basically they kept encroaching by tens.
Yeah.
And then once they got both almost to the middle, then they had to change it and count by twos to
Right.
get the middle. So,
Here. Go on.
So it's just a concept that I thought that you could just try adding and
Here's another way. So let's talk about distance, or let's talk about items. And it's interesting. So if I have two items, right? And the same thing is if I have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so what we're trying to do is we combine the two together and then separate it. So that's the middle. You could do it with objects too.
They do that with the number 5 because see, the number 5, okay, 4 is pretty easy. Done, but when you have 5, the middle number is going to be 3.
So if I have 5, if I have 5, so then that means they're rounding?
Okay, just put 5 cubes on there. Just 5. And make it in a straight line. Now take your 2 fingers and go on opposite ends. No, just your figure. Put them together. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you pull that apart, there's your middle is 3 because it's an odd number.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. That's still the same concept.
Yeah.
If you go 1 and 5,
Yeah.
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 So,
So
that
I don't know if a number line would be helpful. You can use items as well.
mm-hmm.
But if it's 6, what's your middle?
3. Well,
So if it's 5, what's your middle? Your middle is actually 2.5. Any odd number would be a half.
right. Right.
It can't be 3. It had to be 2.5
Mm-hmm.
because you got to separate this
In
and it'd be a
half.
2.5. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I just, like I said, I noticed in those numbers that it wasn't going to give me, well, maybe 30 and 70 does, which is 35. So
30 and 70. 30 and 70.
I think.
30 and 70 is 100, gives you 50.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Correct.
Sorry. It was 15 and 35.
Yeah, 15 and 35. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but
35,
but
so.
what I'm saying is there's many ways to cut it. So if the number line works, or you can even use it with blocks, bricks, or even with the abacus. But to show the concept of what you're trying to do, what would I do? I would probably explain it to him. I would explain it to him with some bricks and a smaller number, and then the reason why you want to add it together so then you can separate it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I didn't realize that I gave you a real juicer. So,
Hey,
Well, yeah,
it wakes up the brain.
it does wake
uh,
up the brain.
uh-huh.
Because there's many ways of cutting it, right? It's just depending on how you're doing it. Well, so if I was to teach a third grade or second grader, even if I went younger, if I was to do it, I'd probably use
The number line.
I wouldn't use a number line because a number line is still a picture. What I use the blocks, and I use smaller numbers. I would obviously use smaller numbers, but I would use the blocks because it's something tangible. And because it's something tangible, it's a lot easier to understand that what we want to do is want to combine all of it together. But yeah, that's a really mature concept.
um,
Yeah. Like even I was helping my son out with discounts and percentages. And some of it was just like, whoo, that's a tough one.
mhm.
So
I owe an apology. While all this was going on, I had slightly was making faces. I had a cat trying to take over my desk, so I was trying to keep her from knocking everything over because she was pushing things out, and I was straightening her with the water bottle.
Oh,
Um,
we missed
so
that.
yeah, you and when you watch later, you'll see part of the water bottle. That's what was going on. I apologize. I was not making fun of what was going on. I was still listening, but my one of my cats was trying to take over my desk.
Oh,
I
wow.
yeah,
So
I think that you're good. You're good, Tammy. We were just so enthralled with the concept. Like that's a
yes,
huge I think it's a huge concept. Understanding but it's also understanding that there's a backstory to it. Like I want to know why we would do it. But yeah,
Yeah.
well done.
Well, can we still just try one? Even though it's
Yeah, we can sure
possibly
try
is
one. So
above.
how would I explain to Abram? That's exactly how you would say it. So I would probably give him the concept of, okay, one is the number line. He knows the number line, right?
Yep.
So then have him do this, but then you could start showing him like, okay, well, how do we cut it?
How do we
Yeah.
find the middle?
Yeah, how to find the middle. So exactly what you would do.
Yeah.
Because if he already understands the concept of the distance, then showing him another way of doing it is perfectly fine. So tell me what the question is.
Uh, all right.
Do it two ways. And I think 2 ways would be good to see.
And remember, this video will get put up so you can have everyone watch this also.
Yeah.
He has to have it kind of direct.
Succinct. Yeah.
Yeah, where it has to focus on that problem. Otherwise, he gets lost with the video.
Okay, never mind
So
him.
tell me what the question is.
Well, why don't we do, what is the number that's halfway between 32 and 76?
So 32, 76. All right.
Yep.
So one way would be to add the two distances together. So we have an accumulation. We have a total distance.
Yep.
So the first way would be 76 on the abacus, and then we add 32. We know we add 32. How do we add 3? Adding the 3 is what? There's not enough. What do we do?
Plus 10 minus 7.
Plus the 10 minus the 7. And then we add the 2, right? Mm-hmm. So our final answer becomes?
108.
Thank you. 108. So now the question would be, well, that is the total amount of distance if you put them together. So to figure out the halfway, half means what? Half means divided by 2, right? So when we want to divide this by 2, because what is 2 halves? If this is a whole, 2 halves means there's one here and there's one here. We need to figure out what the middle is. So to figure that out, we have 2 and we want to divide it by 108. So we have 108. What is our starting point?
First of all, we have to find how many digits.
Yes. So there's 3 digits here, 1 digit here. So 3 take away 1 is equal to 2.
2.
So our starting point will be at 2. We have 108. I'm going to add it to the abacus. Okay. Right? Now, what do? Now we have to figure out our multiplication. Mm-hmm. 2 times what is equal to 1? Does that work? No. So that's why we need to make it a double digit. So if it's a double digit, we know we're right here. 2 times what is equal to 10?
5.
5. So add the 5 here. It's my quotient. I take away 1, take away 2. Take away 1, take away 0. So then my next one is 2 times what is equal to 8 or less? Notice 8 is what? Is 8 a single digit or a double digit? Hold on. No, before you do that, 8 is a single digit or a double digit? It's a single digit. We have to make it a double digit. To make it a double digit, we do 0, 8. So that means that 0 is here. My answer will be here. Tammy mentioned 2 times 4 is equal to 8. So I put 4 here, and then I take away 8. So my answer becomes 54.
Okay.
So that's one way, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now we could do the old school way, which is the Tammy and Lynette. What did we were thinking? We were thinking 32 minus 76. That's another way. So we have 76 on the abacus, 76. This is equivalent going from left to right or right to left. We find the difference here, which is what? 7 minus 3. There's not enough. How do we minus the 3? Minus the 3 is equal to?
In this case is
Minus the 5 plus the 2.
Minus the
Yeah,
5,
minus the 5 plus 2.
minus the 5 plus the 2. And then I want a minus 2 here. Is there enough? No,
No, it says minus 5 plus 2.
but plus the
3.
3.
Sorry.
So here our answer is 44. And then
Yeah.
what we would do is we would divide that by 2, right? And that would be
Mhm.
22. This is the distance between this and this. So then what do? We would add 22 to 32 to get our answer. So it's a little bit extra step the old way.
Yeah.
It's 54.
And see, and that's what I was getting was about 54, 53,
Yeah.
54.
But so
That's
those are the
too
two
much.
different ways. These are the different ways of cutting your cake.
How do you know that you're supposed to add the 32?
Because I know the distance is 22. If I start at 32, I know I'm going to add 22 to get to here.
Yeah.
That's
And
your middle,
subtract
because then
22.
you would add 22 to get to 70.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. But that's the way we were taught.
That's that would be the old people way.
Yes.
Because I know the distance is 22. 22 is between these two. So it depends on, I mean, I would do just like going left to right, right to left. I would try going adding and then subtracting. But the greatest thing about math is it's all about patterns. Figure out what the pattern is and follow it. There's no wrong way as long as it makes sense. So you could, so I don't know, maybe what I would do is have him do one, like later on, he gets used to one way and then say, okay, what's another way? And then that would be an advancement of his understanding, because then he knows that there's actually 22 that separates the two. Whereas if you do it this way, you don't know what the distance is between the two. You just know that the answer is 54.
Well, you know that the number, because see, if you know that the number is going to be between 32 and 76. The halfway mark is going to be in between those two numbers.
But I don't know the exact number that makes it from 32 to 54. I have to do that extra bit. Like, how many steps do I have to take to get to 54? So the difference between this one and then this way is that I actually don't know what the specific distance is from 32 to get to my middle point. Whereas this one, I know exactly is I need to go 22 steps to get to right in the middle.
So let's draw a number line.
There we go. So I draw my number line.
Yep, and you have 32 on one end, and you have, what was the other number?
76.
76.
32,
Okay.
76.
Mm-hmm.
I know my number. We know that from the equation, it's 54, right?
Yes.
So what if we did, okay, pretend we didn't know that number there. So what if you went by tens, 32 and 76? So you went 66 and
Okay,
you
wait.
went 42.
So, wait a minute. So we did
She
32.
wants to see you work it out on the number line until you got to the middle
Yep.
without knowing 54.
Oh,
without-
okay. So then
yep.
this would be 42. This would be 66 because this is by tens, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we subtract. This would be plus 10. So we do it again. This would be plus 10,
That's
52. And then this
Uh-huh.
would be 60, no,
No,
56.
56.
So then this would be
So
minus
then
10.
you go by twos after that.
Yeah, because it would be here from 2 and then here from 2. So it would be plus 2 here and then minus 2 here.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how you get your middle.
Yeah. But again, to get the middle, we understood how much to go.
The pattern's there.
Yes, the
But
pattern is
you said to
here.
do it without having the line.
Yeah.
Well, I
But the
know.
That's what you
pattern,
did.
but
Yeah.
here, no,
Yeah.
no, but here, I don't know how much distance from 32 to 54 is.
That's because you're trying to figure out what the middle number is.
Right. So are you trying, so that's the two things that, like, it's great to know what the middle number is, but I want to know how much. So then you'd have to subtract. So if I get the number, that's great, but knowing this number, it can just be it could be like letters, and I would not understand it.
Well, the whole purpose was just to find the middle number
Right.
between those two.
But there should be a purpose to find the middle number. It's to know the distance. So I know to walk 22 steps to get to 54. Right? There's a purpose to understanding numbers. We put numbers to everything. I want to know why we go to 54. It could have been 27 for all I know. Those are all just random numbers. These are symbols, right? These are just symbols, but there's actual quantity that happens to these numbers. And that's the difference between memorizing and understanding concept.
But I don't think we were memorizing here.
Telling me that 54, I don't know what that meant.
We were just trying to solve a problem.
See, but a problem is arbitrary. It's just a bunch of symbols. It's just a bunch of words. What would be the point? The point is to math is to understand distance and time and all these different things that happen in the world. That's the difference between elementary school math and big people math. Big people math needs to understand, why are we doing it? That's why it's interesting to explain it to adults, because I want to know why. Kids will just say, oh, that's what we do. There's no reasoning behind, why are we trying to get to the middle? How much do we need to get to the middle? I just need to know the number. That's the result driven. I need to know process. So this is the process, because I now know I have 22 on both sides. This is a process if I understood that if I combine everything and I find the average. This is a process because I now know that if I take the difference, right, between these two, and then I divide it, I know how much to go. So I need to step 22 steps to get to 54. So, I mean, there's lots to it. I mean, this is a fantastic question, but it just depends on how you expand on it too. I think it's a great question. I think it's a fantastic idea and concept. It just depends on how far you want to get to it.
Well, thanks for showing me how to do it. On either way, my thought process is that sometimes when you're if they're showing the concept of finding the middle, I'm wondering if there's something else that they are underlying thing that they are teaching. I probably
Yeah.
it's eventually probably finding the average of something.
Yeah.
It's what it because finding the average is the middle if you think
Right.
about it. And so the concept, I don't think the concept is bad. I mean, there's going to be a different way of how they're going to answer that question. You know, let's say you had an average rainfall. The one day it rained 36 inches or whatever, 32 inches, and then
Yeah.
it rained 76 inches.
Yeah.
What's the average between the two?
Right.
And there's that word between.
Right.
So um that's kind of that. So we're still dealing with concepts here.
Yeah.
um
It's a fantastic question.
but I also like how on the number line it shows you the pattern there.
Yep.
I think for some parts of it we were probably reading way into it
Like what?
and making it more difficult than it was. But I I just like the I just liked the part of being able to know how to add and then turn around and to divide. And no, he's not going to be on that level of division yet because he has to be able to master the multiplication.
But he should be able to know how to do this because he knows his 2 times table.
Well, that's why I wanted to do that.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
Because he knows what 2 times 5 is. He already knows what 2 times 4 is. And so by dividing by 2 on any of these problems, if you're taking, because you have to do one digit at a time. First you have to do 10. 2 times 5 is 10. Then you got 2 times 4. But because I don't know how to articulate that quite well, he's right now he's in the multiplication. He knows his 2 times table. He knows his 1 time table. He knows his 0 times table. He knows his 10 times table. He also is, I don't know, the other day, I don't know what he was doing. He was supposed to count for a minute. And he knows that a minute's 60 seconds. And I said, well, why don't you count that again? He goes, I don't want to count 120 seconds. So he knew to multiply. He was multiplying that. And I said, well, what if you just did one Monday? He goes, that's 63 times. That's 180. So he was mentally saying that, okay? He's not doing that on the Abacus.
Good.
And so I feel
That's wonderful.
that his number sense is getting even better and better. And
Yes.
so I thought, why not try this? It's a little bit of a challenge, but he is a pattern person. He recognizes patterns. For him to sit there and tell me, well, that's 62 times, I think that's awesome.
Yes, it is very awesome.
That's fantastic. So which way would you talk? So he already knows the number line method, right? So if he already knows the number line method,
he's learning it. He's learning it, and he's seeing the patterns on it. Because once again, what this is it's just showing a pattern of how to work the number line. That's all it is. And then eventually, as you get more complex numbers, well, you're going to be using the number line again, especially when you find coordinates. When you have your positive and your negative numbers, you're going back to that number line again.
Right.
And he's not there. Trust me.
Well,
okay.
Here's another way. So this would be like step 1 is the number line. Step 2 would be doing it this way. And then step 3 would be doing it this way. That's how I would see it. So I'm not saying, telling him and showing him all of this. I think it'd be great. If he's already understand that much, if he already understands 120 minutes, right? If he already knows that concept, then push it a little bit and see if you can and get him to do it this way.
Yeah, there's a lot of things on a number line.
Yeah,
more so than I realized, and I think that's kind of what they're doing at Beast Academy is they show you different. I mean, let's see, the other thing. Okay, so they have. I mean, the first thing that they have you notice on a number line is to be able to read the tick marks between 0 to 10 and being able to figure out 10. Then they figure out how to find 5 in between those, between 40 and 50. Where's 45? And so they're just kind of having you be familiar with the number line. They say label the missing numbers in the boxes below. Then they have the distance between 2 numbers by counting up on the number line. we say that 70 is halfway between 58 and 82. Um, then they go, then they have a game, number line
Nice.
conquest. You know,
Good.
just little things on that.
Sounds
So
great.
yeah. So I mean, because the number line's going to come back, and when you have those coordinates, when you have to find y
Yep.
or x,
Yeah.
you know, what is it? Mx plus b is slope. I don't know, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I appreciate the time. I was probably a little frustrated, but I appreciate the time that you took, because I was
What?
like, ah.
Well, and I could hear it in your voice, and that's why I was apologizing about faces I was making, because I didn't want you thinking I was making it at you. It was my cat trying to take over my desk.
Oh, that does
I was
that.
not making it at you. I promise.
Yeah. But I think that's the difference is finding different ways, and it was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, once you do that out, and I liked it. So that'd be cool to do a video to be able to show the number line. I think showing all three concepts on a little video just for just one problem would be awesome.
do you, so do you want me to start with the number line and then show him this and then show him this, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, all three.
No,
I
no.
mean,
What would be the first? I think the first step would be showing the number line, right? And then what I could do is,
the
yeah,
abacus part is where you're doing these two different concepts. That's where that comes in, because he does this a little bit with Beast Academy right now, but Beast Academy does not do this on the abacus part.
well, yeah.
And,
Do
and
they do it on the? Do they do it on the arithmetic part?
well, this second part, I got that from looking online.
Okay.
They're probably gonna, first of all, they're not gonna probably do this other part yet. They're probably just gonna
Okay.
focus on the they're gonna focus on the number line where you just kind of go in the middle like what we did.
Oh, I see. I see.
But they
Okay.
do sometimes do have a chance, and then they will go without the number line. So I'm thinking without the number line, okay, we're so used to going like that, taking our fingers and going in the middle.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
if we
yeah.
don't have a number line in front of us, then what do?
Mm.
Okay, it's not in front of us anymore. So then that's when I'm like, well, yeah, okay, well, in my brain, okay, I gotta go this much. And I'm like, no, let's cut that out. So then that's when I went and I Googled it, and I got, okay, we're going to take 76, we're going to take 32, we're going to add it, because we're trying to find the middle number between 32 and 76. Dividing it by 2 will give me that middle number. And so that's what I did.
Interesting.
That's what I did.
Interesting. Okay.
That's because we know when you divide that 100 in half, it's going to be a number in between 30 and 70.
Yep. I see that now. I
So,
didn't see that in the beginning, but I see that now.
yeah. Yeah. So and I'm like, this is fabulous. I know Lynette will be able to, first of all, we'll practice the subtraction,
Yeah.
or sorry, we'll practice
'Cause-
the adding together, and then we're going to do a division problem on top of that. Perfect.
But then I take it one step further. I'd be like, okay, what's the distance between the first number and the middle? And then you do the subtraction.
Yes, you can, because
That's
now
what I would probably do. Yes.
And they have done that. They have done that. Yeah, and that's another step. But you got to make sure you articulate that in your question.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is where it would be a word problem, right?
It
'Cause
can be,
because the
or
word,
just arithmetic.
but a word problem makes it is an arithmetic, but it's more of a because you have to conceptually understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah, you would have. Yeah, I received the word problem. So yeah.
Yeah, this would be more like a word problem. Like, okay, how do you find the middle? And then what's the distance between the middle and the first number? Or what's the distance between the middle?
The middle to, yeah. So yeah, you can ask that question too. But once again, you're doing the addition, you're doing the
Yep.
subtraction, and
Yep.
you're doing the
Addition, multiply.
division,
Yep. Yep.
all in that. And you're going and doing that on the abacus.
Yes. Yeah. And this is a huge concept.
Yeah. It is.
Well done, Alyssa. I do enjoy this one. It was a really good brain teaser.
Yeah, it was. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
I'm happy you had the
why
patience
aren't
to
you
go through it.
understanding what I'm saying, Lynette? Ah!
What?
I was going through my mind at the very beginning. I'm like, she's not getting it. She's not getting what I'm saying.
And believe me, I was saying, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
I was like, she's not getting it.
Uh-uh. She doesn't understand what I'm saying. But
No, but I'm happy that you had the patience to explain it.
Yeah. Because
okay.
like I'm with Lynette on the way she did it over here on the left side. That's how we were taught. You got to find that distance.
Yeah. Well, that's the first part. That was the first part, was the distance. Yeah. And now
Right.
you're finding the middle after that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that 76 minus 32 is finding the distance between 32 or whatever the number is. And yeah, that's what that was. You have to subtract to find the difference on that.
Right.
Yeah, but you kept saying adding, and I'm like, no.
Yeah,
But,
it
but
didn't make
my
sense to
question
us.
was finding the middle between those two numbers.
Yes, but we were
Mm-mm.
taught to find the distance first before you found the middle.
Yeah, but I
Or,
wasn't talking about the distance in the problem at all. I was just talking about
I know.
finding the middle.
I think when we say middle, it okay, so let's take a look at the vocabulary. The middle or the number. What is the middle means there's a distance, right? Between the beginning and the end.
It says halfway between. What is the number that's halfway between
Yeah.
this 32 and 76? That's the
Yeah.
question.
So
What is
yeah,
the number halfway
what's the
between
number?
those two numbers?
Yeah.
And then if you want to find the distance, the question they ask for that,
That's what this is.
what is?
That's
Nope,
what
it's the
22
other
is.
one.
What, this?
Well, the 22 is the distance.
Yeah, 22 is the distance. Yeah.
Then they say how far is
Yep.
37? You would say how far is 32 from 76? That's the distance.
That's the distance. Yeah, but what's the halfway distance?
The halfway is what number is halfway between 32 and 76?
right.
That doesn't do distance.
Right.
You're just finding the halfway. But
You're
if
just
you
trying to
want
find the
to know
number.
the distance, you want to know how far
Yeah.
are those numbers apart from one another.
Uh-huh.
And that was just the wording.
Yeah.
They were asking two different things.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Okay.
But when I put that in the thing up there, maybe what I should have done is done the distance 1, 2, and then done the between one in the question.
Oh, the question that's on the community?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I wasn't sure what was the backstory.
So I apologize on that. I put in there that it was from Beast Academy, and as soon as after I did that Google search, because I'm like, there's got to be another way of doing this, and that's when we added them together and divided by 2 and found the number that was between those two numbers.
Yeah.
So I apologize if I didn't word it very well. So next time I will make sure that I put a backstory on it so that it's not as confusing.
Or we just talk about it during our office hours. I mean, that's what the point of the office hours is. We
And
were able
that's
to
what
figure
we're
that out.
doing here
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. So you don't
So
have to if this was meant for this is fine. What
yeah,
we're doing here is fine. And that was the point. The point was to explore other ways, all things math, all things abacus. And this is
yeah,
many ways.
and this has been a good one.
Yeah, this
So
is an excellent one. I think it's a great concept. And then it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I'd have to figure out like how to explain that.
you can just look up word problems.
Yeah, but I would no, but
Oh, how to explain it?
when I explain it is very different than what other people say.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, if I would use this example, and
Mhm.
I show the different the show. So far, we have 3 different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And you're asking for two different things. One's distance, and one's what number is between two different numbers. That's the
Yeah,
half number. So
yeah,
yeah,
that sounds good.
yeah. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay. Before we have to leave or whatever, um, I got the last 2 problems that you sent me,
Oh,
and the first one,
wait. What was the first problem? Wait, hold on.
3875 by 8
Wait.
multiplied by
38.
8,
Wait, 30.
75.
Wait, 75.
No, hang on. 38,
30.
75 multiplied by 8.
Okay.
Well, let's do it.
When I got that answer, I had to do it 3 times because I thought the answer was, I was being punked on the answer.
It was really nice, wasn't it? We can do that. Hold on.
Yes.
What was the second number? What's the second question?
The second answer is 96 times 7.
96 times 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
that wasn't that was okay. And but this first one I did it 3 times, and then I finally looked on the calculator and I was like, I know I'm being punked.
All right, Alyssa, you ready?
Yeah, it's a small abacus, right?
Yeah, you can do it, the small one.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll use that.
just this one.
Yep. This will probably be. I have to go get my bountiful basket. So, okay, we can
Okay.
do these two multiplication ones. So,
Ready? So
I
let's do
love
this
the
one.
first one.
Well, no, let's do this one first.
do the
Let's do
96. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that one
Okay.
first.
Oh, okay.
So how many digits?
3.
3. 1, 2, 3. And then
7 times 9
is equal to
63.
63.
6 and then 3.
And then
we
next?
go, and then we recount.
No, we don't,
We
because you're
don't.
still on the 7.
I'm still on the 7. Oh,
Yeah, so you just move your finger. This is the last place your finger was, 63, so you go here.
okay.
So then you do 7 times
7
6.
times 6 is 42. So
Add the
4
4. Add the
plus
2.
4 minus 1. And
Plus
then
4 is
add
equal to what?
Plus the 5 minus 1.
Thank you. And then?
And then we add 2 at the end.
Yep.
So your
So
answer is 672.
Don't say and. 672. And
Okay.
means that there's a decimal. There's no decimal.
Oh, 672?
Yeah, 672.
672. Don't say and. Okay, I'll gotta get in the habit of doing that.
Yep.
That was a hard concept when somebody pointed that out to me in my early 20s. I went, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the and means a decimal point. All right.
Oh, okay.
Now we're here.
Yes.
What is
Yeah.
how many digits do we have?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
All right. So 8 times 3 is 24.
8 times 3 is equal to 24. Add the 2, add
So
the 4.
2 and a 4. And yeah, you keep your hand on that second section. And then you got 8 times 8, and we got 64.
Okay, wait, 64. Add the 6.
All right. Well, you got to add 10, subtract 4.
Okay. And then add the 4.
Yep.
Alyssa, what do you have?
I have 704.
Nope.
No, 304.
Yep. 30,400 is what you should have.
Oh yeah.
But
30,400.
good, you have 304 because if we just take the columns here, so you're being column flexible. Next, 8 times 7.
And that's 56.
56. 8 times 7. Add the 5, add the 6.
5. Okay.
Okay. Last one.
And then, hold on.
What do you have, Alyssa?
Okay.
Wait.
I see what. Go ahead.
Yep. What do you have, Alyssa?
3096.
Good. So 8 times 5 is
40.
good. Add the 4, add the 0.
Can't
Tammy?
have-
Okay. So you don't have enough you don't have enough feeds for that. You got to add a 10, and because so you got to go over. Hold on. You got to add the 1, so that's minus the 9, and then you add the 10, and you got to get rid of the 6. Minus the 6. I did that in the wrong order.
That's perfectly fine.
I should have minus the 6 first.
If you
But
want
anyway,
to.
you get 31,000.
Can we do
Did
that
you
one
get
more
that?
time?
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
I did that in the wrong order, and that's messed it. I just messed it up.
We want to add the 4 to here.
Yes. And we can't do that. So we have to add a 10. So we got to go minus 6. And because
Plus
that's
the 10.
9, because
Plus
that's a
the
9,
10.
we want to, yep,
Yeah.
that's where we got to add the 10. So it's going to be plus 1 minus 9 plus 10. So we go minus 9 and add the 10 on the other one. And it's 31,000. I did that problem 3 times because I was positive I was being pumped.
You were.
And then I went and did it on the calculator because I said I'm still being pumped. I loved it.
Did you understand that, Alyssa?
well, so I forgot the numbers that we had on there. I kind of erased it. And so when we did
3.
that last, okay, so let me put the last, so I want to go back and do you have 9.
30960
6 0. Okay, so we're doing
plus 4.
40, right? Plus 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
Plus
so
four.
plus 4. Okay, is plus the 10 minus 6.
Good.
Correct.
So you
So
minus the 6,
so we want to minus the 6.
and then we want to plus
Want
the
to
10.
add the 10. So add the 1. So we can't add the 1 right there. So
Mhm.
plus the 1. Okay. All right. Plus the 1
Look at the formula at the bottom.
plus the 1 is plus the 10 minus 9.
Plus the 10 minus the 9.
Yeah. Okay.
You like that?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, now I got it.
Look at this. This is the page I've been working the problems on. And it's all been done on the Abacus.
You have such beautiful handwriting. Let me see that
Thank
again.
you.
Yeah.
So Send me a problem every now and then, like you've been doing it, Lynette. I'm happy with them.
Did you not get to the community, Tammy?
Not yet, because of my surgery, I've been visiting doctors. This week is pretty much empty, so I will be getting to the community.
Okay, let me know when you have problems or how to get into it.
I will.
Alyssa, did you
Yeah.
get to the counting on the abacus that I added onto the community? There was a little PDF um attached to the counting on the abacus, see the pattern come to life. That was also in an email.
Oh, I didn't know that that was a pat. Oh, I was like, where I okay. I was like, that's a nice phrase. I was like, okay, but I didn't know that you had an attachment to it. So I'll
So
think,
yeah,
yeah.
the attachment is you can cut it out, and this is like your little checklist. What I want
Oh,
them to do is I want them to count from 0 to 30, and then backwards every day, and then you can skip count. So
okay.
when you do it, you're going to start noticing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Mm-hmm.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
Mm-hmm.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then 30. Now count backwards. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, and then 24. 23, 22, 21, 20. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hmm.
And then we could do it again, counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, and then count them backwards, right? 50,
Mm-hmm.
45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. If you could do it every day, that's what this checklist was for.
I get it now.
It's nice, right?
Yeah.
It's just really a different way of, exercising. And so
I'm
what I also did was I added, let's see, I also added so this is the checklist, and I made it so you can cut it out. So print it, cut it out, and you'd use it like once a week or whatever. And then I also added the calendar. So there's a
yeah.
calendar on how to do what it looks like on the abacus.
Now I get it. Yes, I did see that.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
That's a good warm up exercise on the abacus.
Yes, that was meant just to be a warm up exercise, and then he's going to start seeing the patterns and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh
and
yeah.
I
That's
added that little bit because when I teach my students, I noticed that they just need a little bit of help. And I added, so this is like a little post-it note that I wanted to just make available. So then I sent it out to all of my students. And so for the parents, just cut it out and then just, mark it off every day. Just count once a day. It should take like a minute to go through all of this, but then
probably
they're
yeah.
going to start seeing a pattern.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna keep it like that, 0, 30, 30, or are you gonna increase it?
I'm going to increase it. There's like counting by twos, counting by tens, counting by hundreds. So this is just
Oh.
happens to be the first month that I was doing this. And so the second month I'm going to do is going to be different.
Oh, cool. Okay, I like it. I like it.
Yeah. It was just a, s- an aid, I guess, like a study aid to help you
Mm-hmm.
find a different way to warm up the exercise, warming up exercises.
Yeah, I like that one. I cracked my adult book,
Good.
so I'm gonna
Oh,
start doing.
good. I'm actually going to update the adult book online classes, and you're going to have the videos to go with it.
Oh, cool. That'll be
Yeah.
awesome.
So I
Yeah.
did that. I did that last weekend. I did a super fan live. It took like 3.5 hours. And so that was the other thing is I'm actually going to schedule a boot camp to go through the whole book
A
at the
boot
end of this month.
camp.
Yeah. So I was going to do, it was going to be a 4-day boot camp because it's going to be 1 hour each. And I'm going to go through this book. It would be Introduction to Abacus for Adults boot camp.
Instruction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then it would be
And dadgummit, I done finished that book.
um it would be yeah, it was going to be a boot camp. I figured I was going to be 4 days, 1 hour each day, and then we'll go through the book and the major concepts, and then you have the rest of the book to go through. I was going to plan it at the end of the month, but that means I have like 3 weeks to really, maybe I'll do it beginning of next month, like a pre-Mother's Day activity. I don't know. Maybe start on a Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, and end on a Sunday. Yeah, end of the month. So that's the goal. And then I was gonna do that, like do a boot camp once a month.
Oh wow.
So we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, it's starting to take shape. So maybe after I do this one, I was going to do multiplication, and then hopefully by then I'll have division. So I'll be doing specific boot camps for all the books that I have. And I think the books have been very helpful to be able to outline exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So how is the second grade book coming with the second part of it, the 3-digit one?
It's pretty fantastic. I'm just about done actually. I gotta create a video and then create a video and then I'll publish it out. So this is what it looks like. We go through
I know you
all of
got
the
the
numbers.
turtle.
Yeah. So this is the cover that's going to be. So in the beginning of the book, oh, maybe I
love
should
the
show
turtle.
you. Hold on. I'll show you the finished product is better. This one. Yeah. So I've done all the formatting, and it's about 104 pages. So we
Nice.
review about making the tens, and then we review about how to, and this is like a lot of cutting and pasting. This is again just making sure there's a spin the wheel, and then they have to spin the wheel and then they have to tell me what the second number is. So they spin the wheel and then they figure that out. Here is the explanation on how to add on the abacus, and then there's the activity, and then there's the spin the wheel. So we do that for every number. But if you notice, the numbers are getting different, are getting bigger. So this is
Yes.
32, 31, 22. And that's every one of them is going to be different. So it starts off with single digits. Then it kind of goes into a double digit, like super easy. And then spin the wheel would be the higher numbers. This goes all the way to 1. Yeah, it goes all the way to 1. So it's the same pattern, because I didn't want to introduce a new activity, because I didn't want them to be overwhelmed. So it's just the same pattern, but you go through it. So because I want them to really focus in on the pattern when you add the 1, when you add the 2. Then we go into double digit adding. And so this is where you become column flexible. We understand that we do hundreds, tens, and ones, write the formula, answer the question, and then there comes to the maze, write the formula, and then there's the puzzle. There's another maze, and then there's another puzzle. Then there's 3 digits or 3 digits. So you add 3 digits and do the same thing. There's a maze, there's a puzzle, there's a maze, and then there's a puzzle. And then with the same book, there is subtraction, same thing. Understand that there's always going to be 10 asteroids in a belt. I always want to do 10 asteroids, right? If I want to take away the 9, I have to take it away from the 10 asteroids. So if I take 9 away from the belt, how much is left over, we add that back into the ones column.
So. Ooh.
Again, simple numbers, spin the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. And then we do subtraction. Double digits. So here I have to regroup, right? This is what the answer is. And then this is, and then the numbers are a little bit bigger. So this is, and again, you get the maze, you get the puzzle, get the maze, get the puzzle, and then the triple digit.
Oh, whoa, whoa,
Quadruple. I
Yeah.
like that.
Well, because you're doing regrouping, right? So it's got to be a bigger number. We only go up to thousands, but then after that, that's it. That's my book. I'm really impressed with my
I
book.
like it.
Okay.
Thanks.
So I know you have this for second grade.
Yeah.
But that part doesn't really matter. It's the concepts and how you are demonstrating that. That's what really matters. I mean, that way it's not going to be overwhelming. It's not going to matter whether you're doing 1,000 or whether you're doing,
Right.
you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, the thing is, I haven't taught Abram how to subtract the mainstream way.
Okay.
He's just doing it the Abacus way.
Okay.
So I almost forgot how to do it that way. Besides, you have to change the number and then you make the other number bigger. I don't know. Anyway, so
yes, you got to make your ones bigger than it really is.
Yeah.
But if you, I don't know. I never taught my kids the mainstream way, but
yeah. So
it's up
but
to
yeah.
you.
So that second one,
Yeah.
would probably be right up Avram's level.
Yes.
So the first one, I could probably have him go all the way through, but I've been kind of jumping all the way to the 2-digit.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that
I can see that
part.
Yeah. Yep.
So
you could probably do the same thing with this one as well. Just go straight to the 2-digit, 3-digit, or you can have him do the. I mean, he's already in 3rd grade. You can just go straight to the mazes and the puzzle.
Well, that one you're going pretty quick into the 3-digit subtraction, so he could probably just stay at that whole entire book and just do it. I enjoy it.
As long as he enjoys it, he doesn't feel stifled.
Okay. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it is, the concept is repeated, and it's just going to be bigger numbers.
Yeah, but you it's mastery.
Yeah, it's mastery, but it gets to the point. But if he's able to do it without a problem, then have him keep going forward.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
So once this is published, I think I'm going to publish it within the at least a couple of days. I was just going to do the recording and then have it out because.
Oh, you're going to do the recording for the whole entire book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just like I did with the book number 1, I'm doing it with book number 2.
Oh, yes.
Did you watch the videos on book number 1?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah. So it would be the similar format.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the similar format.
Okay. I like it.
Good. I'm happy that it was just one of those things. Like I wanted to. So that's the growing. Like I really want it to be easy for adults, but I also want it to be really easy for teachers, and I want it to be no prep. And so the reason why, and I was happy that you're able to use my videos to have it as a pre-lesson, and then Abram will be able to complete the work, the activity.
Yeah, he's having fun. I don't know. He seems to be coloring patterns and making it look pretty right now.
Yes, good. Good.
That's kind of what he's doing in the book.
Good. It's not meant to be, clean. It's meant to be creative and fun. And
Yeah.
that's why I leaned more towards black and white. I
Yeah.
want the kids to
You
color.
see what mine will turn out like, so
Yeah. I
Yeah.
want the students to color because I want you to start expanding on your creativity of colors and stuff.
Can I share something real quick?
Of course.
So there was this book. It's basically called the Arithmetic for Machinists,
Okay.
and the author of this book said this is what he discovered, and I think this is a concept that can relate to math and why we want to sometimes we jump ahead without even having a thorough
Understanding.
mastery of our arithmetic, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I forgot okay, it's by R.W. Burnham. This is in April 1915.
Okay.
So he says, in experience of more than 10 years in teaching machine shop work to evening class of men and boys actually engaged in the trade, the author has observed a decided lack of mathematical knowledge among ordinary mechanics. Many leave school from the grammar grades. Any mathematical training that they once may have received is therefore so far behind them by the time they are well started in their trade that it has practically been forgotten.
ooh,
Okay? And then he jumps to another part. I didn't read all of it, but I thought that was interesting. Then there's this other part that he talks about. It's about a formula. Let me back up. I got lost. Okay, so it had to do with about the meaning. Okay. Experience has shown that such knowledge is often so shallow that it is more change. You know what? I messed up. Okay, experience has been even to recognize. I'll have to do that other part another time because I lost my train of thought. Basically, he talks about how important you don't want to just do a formula without understanding the whys
Yes.
and the
Yes.
meaning for it.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought
Yeah.
I should have highlighted it, but I didn't want to read the whole entire thing to kind of bore everybody. So I thought I was prepared, but not as well as I thought. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
okay.
That's
My whole month has been crazy because of the surgery coming up. I had to reschedule my dentist appointment, which is next Thursday.
okay.
I cannot get it rescheduled before the surgery, so I may or may not be here. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best to get here, but my surgery is Monday the 20th. This is all allergies. So there's no reason I won't be here the following Thursday.
Okay.
You may be a different view because I'll be in a recliner with my knee,
Yeah.
but I should still be here. So,
I hope it goes well.
oh, it will. Apparently, I got one of the best. They didn't even try. Oh.
What was your guys' opinion on our guest last week when it was the other Abacus teacher?
I liked her.
Yep, I did too.
Oh, good.
Does she have a website or anything?
I believe she has a website. I don't know. I'll have to go take a look. I believe she has a website, but I do know that she is teaching in the school. So, and I just happened to
Well,
find her on
that
TikTok.
I got, and I was glad to hear. You're still my teacher. I'm not changing. But I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear there's somebody else out there teaching the abacus,
Yeah.
and I know your brother is. So there's three of you, and I'm glad.
I found a few more. There's another person who's in from Indonesia, and she was speaking in Indonesian. And it's been very interesting to see, like, very interesting to see how she conducts her classes as well. But but the biggest thing, and I know the biggest thing that I know that differentiates between me and everybody else is that I use Eurocentric math terminology.
Yes,
Yep. Yeah.
So
but it's interesting to hear how they do things, and
yes,
that's what I like.
yep,
I don't necessarily want to go learn how they teach it, but I do want to. I like to hear how they teach it. It's
yep,
interesting.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep. I found it but it, it's interesting to be in this in this it's interesting to be part of this journey to like see how other people teach. And I do
Hmm.
follow other people on YouTube as well, and I see how they teach, and it's been interesting. And I hope to be able to connect with them and see if we can bring them on and
Yeah,
expand the
I love
abacus
it.
world.
Oh yeah, that would really, yeah. I like that. So
Okay.
I love it because generally, because Alyssa has so many questions, and if they have a way of answering her questions, then we get to learn.
Yes.
hopefully I don't
Because
ask too
I never
difficult
know if
questions.
I have a question or not.
I threw
What's
a
that?
doozer today. Sorry.
Difficult. It's whether or not we have the patience to go through it. And I'm happy that you had the patience. I mean, even though you're a little bit annoyed, you still powered through and be patient enough to
Yeah,
explain it.
Yeah.
but
It was a test. It was a
It was a
practice
test
on
for
skill.
Elisa.
It was a practice skill to get to patience, to bring patience to Elisa.
Yeah.
well, and but I never have a question until things are being talked about, and it's like, oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, now I have a question.
Yeah.
So I love that Alyssa has questions because then some will pop up in my brain.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
And
I'm
that's
like,
the
keep asking.
yeah.
Okay.
I was hoping to get the other people that were not, but it's like it is what it is. I'm still trying to figure out how to grow more people. I do have a couple more, so we'll see.
Awesome.
But it's just trucking away, just little bit by little bit. I feel like this is the
Yeah,
year that's going to really explode. I just got to get everything ready and get out
and
of violation.
I hope, yeah.
You know what that means?
What does
So
that mean?
in TikTok, because I get a lot of traffic from TikTok, and you know what? Because I'm going to do a boot camp at the end of this month. I was going to put it on Facebook, and it was going to be so for you guys that are part of the membership, it would be free, but I'm going to charge it. So then it's going to be a paid boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um, and that's the thing. So I was going to actually do that on Facebook, and then that will stay there. What was I? Oh, so I was going to start running ads, but the problem is a lot of my people that are finding me, they're on TikTok, but the problem with TikTok is every time I go live I get a violation because I'm redirecting them to my web page or to a book or anything outside.
Oh,
And because I'm a TikTok shop, they're really strict on what I'm supposed to say. So I get dinged for violations all the time. So uh I stopped doing field trips, and then I stopped saying that my stuff is on everywhere else because I'm not supposed to say that as well.
Oh
uh,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, but just so you guys know the progress, I mean, I'm still excited. Once I get out of the violation, once the traffic starts to pick up again, because I know I can hold about 100, 200 people, if not more. I would definitely be
yeah.
selling a lot more books, and it'd be a lot more, a lot of like getting out there. But because I'm in violation, also my posts are also being restricted as well.
Wondering
Oh,
about that. Because all
yeah.
of a sudden I'm not seeing you, and I'm like, she's not picking up the trash anymore.
Yeah.
You
So
know, I'm
that's
not seeing vacations, and I'm like,
yeah.
okay, what's going on?
So that's it was a little bit of relief to know that even though I'm in violation, once I'm out of violation, I know it's just going to explode.
Hmm.
Well,
And
I'm
just
glad you're taking us along with you.
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And it was interesting, like just hearing that part because I'm in violation. So now I just got to make sure that I don't do anything that puts me back into a violation. So I have until it restarted yesterday. So I have until I think July is when I think it's going to start
Oh,
exploding. Because it's a 90-day violation.
What? So what does that mean?
That means I'm in jail for 90 days.
it means she
That
said something or did something she wasn't supposed to, and they decided they didn't like it.
Yep.
so she can't. So that means you can't do what?
That means I don't get enough traffic to Abacus.
Oh,
That's
that's
what that
not good.
means. And so that means I know what I'm doing is inspiring and I know what I'm doing will really pop. I'm just in jail right now. That means that a lot of people don't see what I'm doing because of all the violations that I have.
Yeah.
Mm.
And TikTok is being a little bit more stringent and strict. I think also because of the change of management. The reason why I say TikTok for right now is just because that's where I've been really focused on. But I am planning to expand out. That's why we're on YouTube right now. But I'm also going to expand out to Facebook and Instagram. And it just takes time for me to go through all the path and
Well, I'm
still.
definitely on Facebook. I'll start checking it more. And
Are you
if
in the
you're on
group?
Instagram, I'll have to go find you.
Yeah, are you in the group? Because I have a Facebook group that
Yes.
I'm gonna start building out. So I'm gonna have my I was gonna go office hours on my Facebook group, but it will be pre-recorded.
Okay.
So
I like
that was
live.
yeah, it won't be live. I
Yeah.
I was thinking about going live, but then I have to figure out how to go live on TikTok, on Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
Yeah.
I
That's
would
not
have
that
to,
easy. You've tried that.
yeah, I was thinking I think I was supposed to use StreamYard to do that on Facebook. So maybe I'll try it again. I'll try it again. Maybe I go YouTube on Zoom and then StreamYard to Facebook.
Okay.
So we'll see. So
Yeah.
those are all the back end stuff that just I gotta figure out. Other than that, okay. I'll see you later, Lisa. Thank you so
Yep.
much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I'm gonna head out too.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye.